Hi, today I want to talk about sparkling wine. It seems a lot of people have a confusion on this. They think that any wine that has bubbles in it or fizzy or whatever is a champagne. This is not true. Now, this might seem a little picky, but it is the correct thing. The only wine that is considered to be champagne is the wine that is made in Champagne. And even then, it has to meet certain standards as to how it was created. We're not going to go into that. That's fine. It's just referred to as the Champagne style. And of course, they use that in Champagne, hence the name. Now, the question is then, if it's not champagne, what is it? Well, the generic term for any wine that has bubbles is sparkling. So a sparkling wine is a fizzy wine. Some people refer to them as fizzy wines or fizzy drinks, although fizzy drinks can be things like soda and Coke and such. Now, if it's certain types of sparkling wines from certain regions have their own name. For example, a Spanish wine that is sparkling is called a cava. You can find Italian wines that are sparkling, depending on which type and where it's made. It can be a Prosecco, or it might be a Spumante. So those are two other terms for it. Your most generic one, or your most typical one, to speak correctly though, is just a sparkling wine. That covers all of them, including champagne. So it's kind of like saying a red wine or a white wine. We've got a still wine, which is not a sparkling wine, or a sparkling wine, which has bubbles and fizz to it. Now there's kind of a in-between level. There's one that has just a little bit of fizz, and the Italian term for this is frizzante. It means it's fizzy. It's not real bubbly, super bubbly like a champagne or a sparkling wine. It's just a little bit of fizz. Kind of when you open the bottle of some types of soda, you get just a few little bubbles up, and then it's pretty still after that. So those are some things to keep in mind. If you hear somebody talking about getting a champagne from California, it's not. There is one brand out there that's grandfathered in, and they can call it champagne. But the more recent laws that have passed forbid that in the wine industry from calling anything in the United States that's made in the champagne style from calling it a champagne. It is a sparkling wine. And there is an exception to that, but I believe that will go away in another couple of years. Not for sure on that, but that's I seem to have heard that someplace. Anyway, so the point being, if it's a fizzy wine, big bubbles, lots of bubbles, it's referred to as a sparkling wine. A slightly fizzy wine is a frizzante. And if it's no bubbles at all, then it's a still wine. So for the most part though, when you're drinking a sparkling wine, you're probably not drinking a champagne. So be accurate, be precise, and then you can turn your nose up at the people that say it wrong. So anyway, that's part of the fun of knowing about wine. Anyway, cheers, have a good evening, and enjoy your wines. As you may have gathered by my festive garb, my nice little turkey hat, I'm going to talk about some holiday wines.